We are learning many things to help us minister like Pastor Kobus. Okay? They name him. So, and they gave his whole name, so they know about him. So, how can we safeguard to not end our time on earth in a manner like he did? That's a really good question. Because he died of something he successfully ministered healing to others. Okay, two things, and this goes kind of back to Dr. Lake also. Because Dr. Lake passed away at age 65, had a stroke on, I think it was Labor Day, had a stroke on Labor Day, lived about 2 weeks later, and then passed away. At times he seemed to get better, and then he just passed away. Kobus, now you saw him after I did, you saw him later than I did, just before he died. But we knew him, I mean, over several years, and he had beat cancer several times himself. Yeah. And then this last time, now, here's the case, and then we talked about this just the other day, as a matter of fact. Something with Dr. Lake. Dr. Lake made this statement. In some of his sermons, he said, I have run at a pace that few men have been able to run at that pace. And he said, I have lived a life, and I have wore my body out. And he let people around him know, he said, I am tired. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go that way, all right? But there is something in you that when you lose the will to fight, now, both for yourself or for anybody else, if somebody you're praying for has lost the will to fight, you can still win, but it's harder. It is hard because you're going against their will to a large degree, at least to a certain degree. Right. But you have to understand that the only reason their will is that way is probably because they've been that way a while and they're tired. Their will would not be that way if they weren't tired and if they had been healed faster, right? Now, in that, and again, like with Kobus, he passed away, and he was tired. Exhausted. He had gone through a lot and different things. And you have to remember, it's not just physical tiredness. We're not talking about that. Physical tiredness is nothing. You can take a break and go get rejuvenated. It's the mental, it's the soulish area. It is the pressure sometimes of ministry. It's the pressure of family. It's all kinds of things that can wear you down. Because I can tell you, and that's why, you know, husbands and wives, it's so important, because nobody can get to you like your spouse. Nobody can affect your soul like your spouse can. And so it's important that we encourage one another and keep, you know, helping one another move forward. And so many times with Dr. Lake, he got tired. He had, my real quick, people say, well, you know, why did he die if he believed this? My question was, where were all those DHDs that he raised up? They should have jumped in there and fought for him. But they didn't. You know why? I actually talked to some people and they said, we all thought, this is John Lake. He can handle this. And they thought, well, he's going to come back. He's beat stuff before. He's done this. And they didn't think about joining in. But we all need everybody. We need one another. We're in this for one another. I can tell when people are praying for me, right? And you never hear me really talk about it because some people pray for you and they almost put you in the grave. I mean, they'll, you know, by how they pray, you know, and you don't want them praying, amen? And some things you keep to yourself, but a lot of this has to do with just your soul and your will and your body. You can fix your body. And then they asked me out in here also about, you said everybody should be healed. Well, if that's true, how do people die? Why do you think you can only die with sickness? Yeah. You don't see that in the Bible. You see these people that they're old. I mean, they've lived a long life and they're done. And then they lay down and they call all their family around, their kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and they bless them. And then they commit their spirit to God and they go to sleep. That's how E.W. Kenyon did it. How E.W. Kenyon did it.
Kenneth Hagin did that and E.W. Kenyon both did that. But, you know, regarding that thing with Kobus, and I know that Pastor Curry will concur with this, is that like with him, as with others, is that we can still follow their faith.
Sure.
You understand? The same thing is with Lake, or even people that you may not even agree with doctrinally, like, say, for example, William Branham.
Yeah.
Okay, so you may not agree with all of their doctrine, but but still you can follow their faith. Okay, you could still eat the hay, spit out the sticks, but you could still follow their faith. And, you know, like Amy Semple McPherson, you know, here it is. She had all of her issues. And same thing with Cassie Krulman. She had all of her issues and stuff like that. But still, we can still follow their faith and still see the Lord use us. And yet we don't have to fall into their trap. And we don't have to throw the whole baby out with the whole bathwater.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've both met people, we both have known people that have had various different issues, or like, you know, in the case of Kobus, just was exhausted from a number of different reasons. and then just died. But that doesn't negate 17,000 cripples rising and walking. You understand?
Yeah.
And so we just still follow their faith. We still receive from them. We still love them, and we still love the gift of God that's on their life. And so never negate somebody because you maybe disagree with them or something like that. But just always say to yourself, hey, listen, I can still follow their faith. Follow their faith, follow how they minister healing, or they minister deliverance, or they minister the gospel, or discipleship, or prophetically, or whatever it might be. Follow their faith.
Amen. Amen. That's good. It's exactly right, because you can go through every person and find some fault, either in doctrine, practice, something. You're going to find some failure, right? You're going to find something in there at some point. But again, you should look at their faith.